Mexico and Fiji will have to do for Season 3. So indeed it's Luminosity. They all start on their CT side. They will defend first. Full Kevlar for the CTs. Fallen, the Soul Grenade man, unless you include a decoy. I feel like I'm going to investigate the... well, I'll get to it later on. Because my points are not always short ones and not always come in timely fashion. Destiny looking for the one-taps, looking for the headshots. He's baiting for his teammate Showtime, but Showtime's got the P2000, so perhaps the Ts will be aware of it straight away. They won't be. There were flashbangs as well, but they came in from the T side, of course. And just like that, we have four men surviving for Luminosity in the pistol. And is there a radio on in the studio? That's what it sounds like.
Definitely is. That's what woke us up earlier, James.
Yeah. Well then, good start for Luminosity. Roger that. I didn't bring my boat radio with me. My boat radio.
You still have the horn, though. If
the
someone
horn, yeah.
used that horn on me while I was taking a nap, I would kill them with my own 2 arms.
Oh, now you suggested it. Maybe there's something for the future.
You will die, James, if you do it. That will be your end.
2-1-2 set up for the CT side. Playing the range. The A players on the site. Of course, they'll be expecting the force buy from SK. And it's a force buy that everybody's invested into SK, not prioritizing sniper rifle in the buy round. And you can see they are absolutely playing to win rather than just, of course, Havoc and do some damage. Being very, very careful so far on his pistol. This force buy, rather. The bomb has been left outside B for the time being. And with SHZ getting taken down, well, the bomb seems to be headed now based on that pick. I was about to say perhaps they'll pull rotation, but you saw there was a play for short very quickly from SK. Didn't work out for them. However, Phelps is there as well. And now we have Luminosity moving back into a retake formation with PKL making sure there's no flank through the connector area. Z connector, if you will. Phelps running distraction towards the forklift. SK have not yet identified that nobody is on A site. They've got that one flashbang. There is the pop, but still no one has crossed to A. And there's the gauntlet run. Phelps would first make it over, but it's Cold who's carrying the bomb at the moment, and he's still by the fork. So it's time for SK to get going. And there it is, Cold. He makes it past the first player, and he should be good to make it to the site. Can he get around the corner, though, to plant the bomb? I don't know that he can. Flashbangs coming in for the CT side. A long round, no plant. 2 players taken down, though, by SK.
Does seem like SK was just, you know, hoping to hit some crazy shots, basically. I mean, I think the best example for that is the fact that even Fallen didn't get any utility, just got a deagle and armor. Usually he is the one who sacrifices armor at least and buys utility for the team so they can find their way into the bomb site. Wasn't meant to be this time around.
Very nice smoke in for the CTs. It's always nice when your smoke has no leaking edges that the Ts can try to sneak around into the middle area, entirely contained inside T warehouse. But you've got to be careful with those smokes as well because they can give gaps on the edges for people to peek through. So SK trying to get as much value as possible out of even these light eco buys with the P250s and such. PKL going to get his bell rung, but he can just chill out. He can chill out. He's moved back to the site and put Showtime in position. And again, PKL's got 2 flashbangs, one of which is selected, so he can throw the pop flash for his teammate to pop out. It seems they were expecting it, though, for turning away just at the right time, but there's another flash. And Fur's the last man standing. There's more damage to be done, though. Fur's left the bomb behind for the time being. The flank is coming in from Yell through the middle area. I think Fur will want to collect the bomb before pushing up too much. Or SHZ will simply shoot him in the head. That works as well. See, someone's been in the club in Atlanta. The home of hip-hop in America.
The good hip-hop, James?
Probably all types of hip-hop.
Or the ones that we get in Ubers.
The terrible hip-hop that you hear on the radio at the moment, if you can even call it hip-hop, where each verse has approximately 10 words in it. So SK on the buy, 5 AKs of course, after the full force, rather. That works as well. Yell holding a tight angle. The door has been opened, and SK will be careful about that one. That may slow down their approach towards the squeaky area. Taco knows that there is some kind of trap. If there's no CT facing now and the door's still being left open, then he's being baited. He is being baited, but will he take it? Maybe the maggot on the end of the hook looks good. Maybe he likes the wriggle. We'll find out as the rounds continue. For now, Yell's not going to be engaged there just yet. SK taking it slow. Oh, that's a bad miss. And again, that's so frustrating. You've got your set grenades to force the CTs out of the vents. You throw your Molotov to bounce off the corner into vents, and it just goes straight back at you. That's a really big problem. It makes it hard for you to peek as well. You don't know what lies behind the smoke you just dropped.
50 seconds left and a lot of utility saved from Luminosity. They will be in a great position to defend this A hit. And just as I say that, Yell falls to Fur.
Why not? Destiny walking through the smoke, Pronax style. Speaking of smokes, we've got the second kill for the T side, and all the jewels are going in their favor. Destiny not ready for the second player, getting his knife out after the first kill. Got assistance from Phelps though, some team wounding, they were lining up. And SK, they get their first round on the board, the buy round, the all-important buy round. And that's messed up the economy for their Brazilian counterparts already. And there is Monsieur Fallen. Got the short back and sides recently, it looks like. If he's successful, then maybe he will be up here a bit later on. But it's still early days in this Brazilian showdown. Again, you can come down and watch these matches for today and 2 tomorrow, LAN matches. $15 for 1 day, $25 for 2. If you're in the area, get down. Maybe you can meet some of your heroes and they can sign your forehead. It's a good start from Yell. He will make the assumption that there was just a lurker towards Squeaky and retrieves the gun. And that was with him holding a deagle. Maybe he drops his AK to someone else or the deagle. Oh dear. Well, that's interesting. Fallen has shot Fur in the head while legging Showtime, I can only assume. And now he has to dispose of the weapon. He's picked up the AK, support from Cold. It appears they might go for a split. They've got no lurker towards B. This is a problem for SK. It's a 3 versus 5. 1 AK is collected already. But now, do they go for the disposal service with that second AK in mid? They could throw it on the T-red warehouse box. But anyway, the push is coming in to the B bomb site. Phelps tagged heavily down to 8 HP now. Fallen picking off Showtime in the meantime. And it's Cold who is holding angles with the AWP. So perhaps this B approach will be what saves the game. Saves the round for SK. Yell and SHZ remaining. Both coming in from CT high and low. SHZ just peppering. A Molotov has been found, but the bomb will still get planted. 3 versus 1, and now Yell has a decision to make. Does he continue to try to push, try to do more damage, or does he save the AK-47? It seems it will be the latter, probably the wiser decision of the two. And if he can save this, he can drop the deagle to another teammate in the next round as well.
And also here you can see like the nuances and the details of the game, right? Luminosity with a 5v3 advantage, and they had a stack even towards B, but they still allowed SK to isolate them in 1v1s. That's something you never want to do in a situation like that. You want to be able to establish crossfires and always get the trade kill since you have the numbers advantage. As you can see here, Fallen gets 1v1 versus Showtime, then he gets a 1v1 versus Destiny, and a third 1v1 versus PKL. If all those players peaked simultaneously, obviously Fallen would not be able to get all 3 kills. They would at least get the trade on him, and in the ensuing chaos, they might have been able to kill the remaining SK players, but it wasn't meant to be.
Oh, look at this, very fast over the boost right there from Fur. A very high pace here from SK in this round into middle, and things will be interesting now for Luminosity. How do they respond? Do they want to go for an information play? Do they push A main? Do they push B storage? Do they try to retake mid? Do they just play passively? These are the main options that they have at their disposal. We'll see Desi just re-smoking towards B storage there, and no peek into A main just yet from Luminosity. A vital bit of information that could help them in the coming moments as SK still have Fer on the boost, waiting for that smoke to go away, seeing if there's going to be any more peeking, if they can get any additional advantage. But now Taco is setting up a smoke, trying to keep the harassment alive there towards the A-bomb site. Will this pull any players? Very quiet SK, very fast start. Now they slowed things down incredibly. So
Destiny starting to push B, and that's going to cause the rotation from Showtime. And it looks like he might have time to get into position. Yell's got a nice angle, but will there be flashbangs? There's a smoke towards the car position. There's a quick peek, and Yell's out of position now. I'm not sure how good his flash will be, but they're lining up for him, but he still can't land a shot. Going for it once again, the teaser flash, and that's SHZ with a super weird angle, but it won't yield anything. The flank continues from Destiny, but Fer was holding a super acute angle from Squeaky. He's taken him down. Showtime left alone on the site. Won't have any luck either, and SK get another round on the board.
Some good damage at the end from Showtime, but of course he was 1v5, and he was going to die eventually. So SK having an interesting time of it now. They've equalized the score 3-3. We have the PT50 Eco out of LG. They've got Showtime on a Deagle and Kevlar, but other than that, there's not too much to shout about in this round for them. And SK will realize that their economy is in the state, will try to run around irrespective of that. And the first player, it has been found. PKO up close in middle. Taco finding Yell by the door. I think that was actually a shot through the door indeed. And now there's just 2 men left. They're all falling like flies as they start to peak as desperation starts to rise. As hopelessness starts to set in.
There should be a statistic on how many times the door was operated in one round. So I said, like, Taco operated the door 11 times.
Or who's the player who gets the door shut in his face the most?
Yeah.
That would be a good one. I don't know, that operate sounds so weird, like there is a door operator, like that's a job.
Well, open and close
operator.
is too much of a mouthful, isn't it? So, you know, you can operate the door. Since technically that's what you're doing with the E button. Fallen looking for a short wallbang. I had someone try to do this to me once, so I just ran through mid and shot them. SK into their passive default in the sense that they're taking positions, but not being too aggressive. Just some harassment relatively safely.
I think the problem for LG here is that they are being too passive right now on their CT side. I mean, you do see SHZ in that shroud position, so that's an alternative to being aggressive. But you know, you can't really allow SK so much room to work. You see, like Fer guesses it as well, or maybe they made some noise. Taco just spams Yell through the squeaky door, and SK just effectively choking out LG.
Two of which are still on the B bomb site, and Cold Zero is trying to clean them up, leaving Showtime alone. So the bomb can be planted for anywhere at this point. Fallen is going to go for the standard main plants, and Fer will go on the hunt. So it's a 1v2, and Showtime has a lot of time to try and go for this. Just like we saw nothing with a retake from CT Spawn, where he got a defuse when no one was on the site for SK. We might see something similar from Showtime, the 1v1 now. He's got a kit as well. The flashbang, last player in main, oh sorry, is it main or forklift from Fallen? One of the two, we'll soon find out. It is indeed the forklift position. Showtime, I think he might have used his smoke, and now he sees where the bomb is. He has little cover. Molotov and the bomb's going to waste a lot of time, and now Fallen can't really lose. He's wasted enough time. But
Wow.
Showtime, he's made it expensive. He's got himself a 4K and stolen AWP as well.
He's got 13 kills there. We saw previously in the last round, at the end, you know, that again, he looks very sharp. Managed to get 2 kills out of a 1v5 as well as they were attacking the site. So doing a lot of damage. Showtime really has turned up here today. Hopefully he'll lift his team with some of these performances. As that is definitely going to help them should they be able to get the ball rolling again anytime soon. As far as things go now, that we can see that even though so much damage was done, the money's still pretty good for SK. So it's quite a long road ahead. And once again, SK opting fairly frequently to get a fast boost situation where they have a player peering over into the middle position, looking for those opening picks for the team. Nothing to come just yet, but that level of dominance that they're trying to exert, they're trying to bully their opponents in such a way, it can feel quite suffocating at points. So we'll see if Showtime can remedy the situation as he's boosted into the vent.
You saw PKL was previously trapped towards sandbags, which is now Molotovs, but his team allowed him to escape before that happened.
Nice. Revenge, that's revenge, James. That is sweet, sweet revenge through the door.
Yeah,
Feels
he'll enjoy that. Taco won't so much. SK gravitating towards the B bomb site on the minimap, where there are 2 players. It's going to be a 4-on-2. This won't be easy for the CTs to deal with, and one person has walked past the angle already. That's Destiny, caught out of position. Well, of course, by surprise rather than out of position. PKO gets 1 kill back, but what happens now? It's a 3-on-3. That retake is being set up by the CTs. We've got Yell coming down to CT and SHZ on the flank through T spawn. Bomb not planted just yet, so that's bought a lot of time for the CTs.
Yeah, it really has. And they are taking their time at the moment. SHZ trying to find himself in position so that his team can then go in with him. But of course, he'll have a 1v1 on his hands first. And first been quite on point so far in this matchup here today. He is quite scary. Just yesterday, we saw essentially a 1 versus 5 from him on Cobblestone. And he will win his 1 versus 1. Every single frag has been won here by the SK Gaming side, not conceding a player at all in that 3v3 situation. See Yell there looking a little bit frustrated with the situation at hand.
Nice. Through the wall.
That's a step above. That's like, that's...
You don't see that spam so much these days.
No, you don't.
But it's a scouts onto Luminosity for this round. Yell and Destiny with the Kevlars and pistols here and there. So again, it's anti-eco time for SK.
I remembered. I was looking for a word to describe the face. It's dejected. I was looking for it. I was
Dejected.
Dejected. There
dejected.
we go.
He looks
You're
dejected.
racking your
then.
brain.
He looks dejected then, and I can't really, I can't say anything besides LG needs to be more aggressive. You just can't sit back, play passive against SK. They're always going to be aware of your setup. They are going to be able to make a good read and have a good execute, basically to counter what you're doing.
Got to force that respect and punish the over-aggression.
I mean, generally you need to be aggressive no matter which team you're playing, at least at some point in the game, right? You need to throw some aggression towards the Ts, but especially against a team like SK, and especially as you're the underdog, right? As you said, Dan, you need to take the game to them. You need to make them respect you and not bully you around, pistol whip you.
Absolutely. I'm all for that. The gaining of respect, that is. Gaining of respect.
T's moving into the B bomb site, or are they? We've got Phelps on this short position now, and the bomb is making its way through mid. I thought it might have gone through main instead, and SH said, is he going to have good timing? He catches Fallen in an awkward spot, but the cover is there, and they managed to escape. You never know, there could have been a push into main as well, so nothing was perfectly safe, but it seems they made a good decision. With the presence that was already on B, took a gamble, paid off.
Yeah, slight hiccup, but they have been frightened, shocked, and the hiccups have gone away, and things have stabilized here for the SK Gaming side for 7 rounds. And the money indeed is building and building and building. The work that SK has done in various rounds to frag the opposition and make sure their economy is kept in check, it's not really in the long term panning out all too well for them. They're going to have to win buys upon buys upon buys against SK. And as Janko suggested, a change of the game plan is what we're looking for here to see out of Luminosity, so that adaptation can then hopefully yield them a good result and get them on that comeback trail. But until we see that, it might be more of the same here. As SK do appear to be very comfortable, they're being allowed to play their game at the moment.
That's never a good thing if you are their opponent. 4-round lead for the T side. Could this be a faster play from them? 4 players towards B at the beginning of the round is definitely not normal from a T side, and indeed they will charge in, get the opening kill onto Showtime, and there's no one else in B at the moment. It's the CT side scrambling for a rotation. Destiny taken down in the vents. SHZ resorted to spraying through a wall in the hope that he might find something, and maybe he will, but will it be enough? We've got Luminosity in a safe situation essentially. Yell is still with the AWP over towards A, holding an off angle on main. and PKL in Highway. So I think this round is already over.
Yeah, I think you're right. Not too much to be done in this situation. Again, Luminosity sort of a step behind SK at this point in time. The 8-3 is what we're looking at in this situation. And SK are a very scary, very, very scary team these days. Well, they always have been. That's my beef jerky, James. Put it down immediately.
You should not leave your beef jerky in the open next to James.
Of James.
I'm reading the label.
Okay, all right. What does it say?
Vacuum packed for freshness.
Nice.
Sure. Reading the label, right? Yeah.
All right, so we have Luminosity actually managing to save all 3 players, keep them alive to the end of the round. So there is that, and they can get a full buy into this next round, which will look decent due to that fact. But again, still searching for answers. And again, we are looking for that adaptation to SK's play, their game style. And, you know, one thing that was pointed out by Steel, you know, he highlighted the domestic factor. It's always a factor, but at the moment, SK are able to, or seemingly are able to sort of circumvent that factor by just playing very aggressively. And Luminosity seem to be playing as they would against any other team at the moment.
Look at that grenade on Fur. Again, the rare flashbang. Oh my god, PKL just gets absolutely annihilated. So SK changing the pace and changing the direction of that pace and keeping Luminosity on their toes, keeping them guessing. But Yell has tied things up for the time being, but that doesn't really benefit the CT side. Showtime holding a second AWP towards B, waiting for a cross from the T's, but we've got Fur making a play towards Squeaky, and SK, they're just waiting at the moment. They're in holding formation. But the bomb is slowly headed towards the A site, it seems.
I like how Yell opened the round. He went for aggression in A main, won the pick, and equalized. And he's essentially alone in this position towards A. His teammates have left him in that spot to essentially just do everything by himself. They put the trust in him. Already 2 frags. It's going to have to be 4 at the very least if he wants to help his team win this round. As he's about to get challenged, the grenades start to sail in, and he'll make the call for information, but his team are ways away. That's a nice first flick there from Yell. What else can he do under pressure? Looks like Cole is going to have his number there. A shot in the side of the head as the rotation starts to make its way in. The bomb yet to actually make it onto the site for a plant. Showtime, and meanwhile, able to, by connector, pick himself up a frag onto Cold, and all of a sudden fall in a 1 versus 2, and SH set is there in place to finish off what Yell started. Great round from Yell, and that small aggression, definitely a step in the right direction for LG.
There was a nice shoulder peek from Fallen just heading into main, which I just wanted to talk about for the people at home who may not understand how to shoulder peek correctly, and they'll peek until they can see the angle they want to shoulder peek. If you do that, then sometimes you peek too far, and it'll be quite easy for an AWPer to land a shot. He just threw his shoulder out there, but he couldn't even see the angle himself, because again, otherwise you'd be showing off too much skin, and then it wouldn't be terribly hard for your opponent to get a kill. So shoulder peeking is not necessarily you seeing the angle, because you look from the middle of your head, so just bear that in mind. Something to learn if you're unfamiliar. What is this? A connector smoke, perhaps? SK still have double the score of their opponent. Both teams are on a bye for this round. We've got 2 Luminosity players playing from quad on A. PKL is a highwayman. He can rotate if things get a bit hot in the middle area. And then 2 on B. The 2-1-2 from Luminosity. SK being very active around the minute mark. It seems the mid take is the first approach here from the top Brazilian team. So they haven't been challenged in that position. Now, what do Luminosity do in response? They've lost mid. They have no vision of mid. They may use that AWP. This is the response. They go for the main push, and they haven't seen anybody there. And indeed, it does seem like it's going to be the B split from SK, and there are only 2 CTs here.
Dusty has a great position, looking to jump out now. Oh, Fur was watching for it. Great cognizance there from him, allowing his teammates to go forwards. He covered that eventuality, and that's a great look here for SK. Another frag going their way. Now a 2 versus 5 for Luminosity. A very tough ask, and an ask that may not even be something they'll go for. Oh, wow. Nice exit kills from PKL, but Fur again shuts him down as he tries to escape. There is no escape. We'll see if Yell can get himself out of this position. I think they're fairly aware that he could be nearby. Nice peek there, Yell. Very quick. Good ult work from him. But will that save him? Still 2 players out there to hunt, and SK have a lot of cash. Oh, no way. Is he going to be able to get this?
No. Oh, you can't. You have to stick it. You have to stick it, Yell.
No.
Again.
Way. Oh, my God. When do you see that? That never ever happens, especially not against SK. Look at that look on their faces.
That's the second time it's happened this week to SK.
It happened yesterday then.
Yeah.
I was asleep, I passed out.
That's the second time.
That is insane. What do you do but just laugh at that? That is the correct reaction, I think. That is look at this, that's disbelief. That is complete disbelief. How has this happened to us? Why is this happening?
Soon we'll maybe be making an album.
Oh my God.
Of not even a ninja defuse, it's just go back into the site and defuse. There's no ninja there, it's just they were on a small chariot led by horses into the site and then defuse the bomb.
Oh man, Yell is continuing in fantastic form here. Frag onto Fur, who's been a really big issue, opening up things all over the map for SK. My God. SK.
Better fix that before the major.
It's so funny, like how rare that is to see. Generally speaking, it's pretty awesome.
I think they're just like they feel very comfortable playing against LG, so they were like complacent, you know, just basically gambling. Yeah, he's not gonna go for it, or he's gonna save. Let's just hunt him down. I don't think normally they would play it out in that way, which obviously is not optimal. They can definitely get punished for that, but Phelps is the one delivering the punishment then.
Yes, he is. Showtime's able to take down Phelps eventually, but the damage has in fact been done, as the bomb site has now been taken over by the SK side, and the bomb plant is available, and indeed, that bomb is now ticking away. Luminosity, however, they have 2 players coming in from Squeaky, as we can see, so this may be quite surprising for SK. I wonder if the door is open. SK should have shut it. Oh, okay, it's actually open. Still, that's brilliant for them. Able to just peek straight away, and seemingly the element of surprise not going to help there. But still, Showtime has the element of surprise. When do you see 2 players coming out of the door in this situation? However, Taco is easily, comfortably, confidently going to shut it down.
You can see Dead making some home videos there. Got himself a gimbal as well for some image stabilization.
Yeah, it's all about the gimbals, man.
We'll move into the last round of the first half. Luminosity with 5 rounds on the board. I think Showtime, it looked like he was making a play because Taco was looking the wrong way. It looked like he was making a play to find out where the second player was while no one was looking at the door. Unfortunately, Taco popped up again and it didn't work out for him, but I think that was the idea he had there. And it would have been a nice one. So again, that's a nice flash on the corner, and that's a great shot from Fallen.
Damn.
You love to see it. Ooh, hello.
Hello.
Well, there's opportunity. There's opportunity for the CTs here. Never mind. It's a 3 versus 1 now. 3v2 with a rifle picked up. You know, there's an increased chance, but this is maybe too much to ask.
Yeah, we're getting some great stuff from. I mean, at first it was Showtime, and then we saw Yell. Yell was the other player to really step things up to deliver some round-winning performances for Luminosity, which has given them some amount of space to work with. 5 rounds is not the best situation in the world, but it is much better than I think the way this game could very well have gone. So we'll have to see if they'll be able to get that pistol round victory, get things off to a good start as we move into the second half. And this is just really stunning stuff from Fallen. Absolutely crushing Showtime there, just using his patience. Showtime missing a few too many first bullets. And here we see from Luminosity, Yell on the Deagle, and we have PKL, smoke and double flash. So some utility with which to claim a bomb site. Ooh!
There's your utility. Bullet straight to the dough.
First got 2 challenges, and he is not going to prevail on that one. So Luminosity looking really nice for a pistol win on the second half, and that would put him in a great position to close the gap, but of course, you would presume a force buy would come. Might be easier though to fight against the force buyers with Luminosity on the T side. We'll see how they play as a unit. Should they be successful in the pistol round, and you feel like they'll eventually get it, and indeed they will. 4 versus 1, too much for Cold, even for Cold, at least on this occasion. Right then, Will there be a force buy for SK? We've seen some full forces for them in the second round where they lost the pistol, but I feel like they would want the AWP a bit more on the cash CT pistol. And indeed, Fallen will only buy smoke, it seems. So they'll have at least one AWP in the in round number 4. Now, see how Luminosity can play as a unit and how they approach this anti-force buy round. 2 more players in mid. They've only spotted 1 though.
So it's going to be a tough one for SK to get anything done. Is Fallen going to make a play here? Just sitting in the middle for the time being. And Luminosity, they are just taking their time, taking their sweet time about it to make sure that they can be safe, to gain any other additional advantages that they possibly could in a situation such as this. Pop flash of Destiny there to try to peek, attack him more safely. I think that was that a team flash? I think it may have been. I don't think the CTs have any utility at the moment, so.
Team flash.
Team flash. Oh. Oh, sneaky. Sneaky. Oh, I think they saw the gun through the door there as he turned. Or did they?
You mean the pistol?
Pistol, sorry, yeah. Yeah, that's
well,
a gun.
Gun
Pistol
is
a
like
gun.
a pistol as well, right?
That's true.
Gun is like anything but a
Thanks,
rifle.
Echo.
I think a gun is a gun at the end of the day. Yeah, okay.
Oh! Cold. Arrives to the scene. He's late to the party, but he's fashioning a Deagle, a Desert Eagle.
Which is a gun. Just like gravity is gravity.
It's also a gun. Yes, it's true.
What's the opposite of gravity?
Well, Twitter says that there is no opposite of
Yeah,
gravity.
I mean, because it's a force, right? It's like a force of nature. I mean, I can't think of one. What are all the forces? You've got gravity.
All the forces.
You-
the
you-
police force.
You-
How about that?
The police force.
You-
Why do you go to the police force? Why is that the first one, James, that comes to your mind?
Well, if I face the police force as many times as James did, would be the first thing coming to my mind. For me, it's the Air Force.
Maybe even
Oh
Delta
my
Force.
God, he went there.
That was good.
That was a good.
That was actually pretty good.
That was a good one. Well done. Well done.
Have you guys seen the Delta Force films of Chuck Norris? Where he's got a motorbike that fires missiles. It's just a typical, like, American hero, military blowing stuff up. But it's really awesome.
I've seen it.
Has good music as well.
Definitely not. Didn't watch those, didn't watch Steven Seagal movies.
I was never a Steven Seagal fan. He's like a poor man's Jean-Claude Van Damme. to me.
Didn't watch Van Damme movies either. I think that was
You haven't watched
probably
Bloodsport?
before my time.
Jesus. Well then.
One of the trash action movies that I did like.
It's too late for
is-
that, Yanko. You've taken too long. It's time for the buy round. Luminosity have momentum in their favor after winning the pistol. They've smoked off. See, these are the normal grenades. They smoke off the front of B. They get the Molotov in. But the CTs are prepared. The push is coming in. Cold throwing a flashbang as well, which his team will be aware of. But everybody's blind, including Fallen on the high ground. Destiny taken down. So the advantages are brief for the CT side. The man advantage has disappeared down to the 2 versus 2 for keeping an eye on the event, maybe speculating that the bomb will eventually get planted for it. And indeed it will be, but Yell is in the T-spawn area, and he might be able to cover this position for PKL. And PKL, well, he's got to watch CT and the... I was going to say the other side of the vents, but Yell, he's got a position for both. He doesn't need to be looking towards T-spawn this position because of that angle covers all of the vents, and PKL can just watch lower. But it hasn't really worked out for the Ts. And Yell may be in a position where he's got to save. It's a 10-second defuse coming in, though. Oh my God, how did he miss that? He was so patient and he still missed the shot. Too much pressure for Luminosity, and SK take the round.
You hate to see it, James. You hate to see it.
He has such a good position in Sunroom. I don't know why he's looking towards T-spawn, because he can just, he's got the wall for cover. He's completely covered. And if somebody comes from that direction, they've got to go into his crosshair. But it might be that he wanted a more forward position to pick off a player towards the vent so he could come and assist his teammate for the second frag. We may never know. 11-8.
So LG, again, playing it passively. We saw, in contrast to that, in the beginning of the rounds, SK on their T-side just going pretty fast. Just getting someone on boost really quickly, and largely speaking, it wasn't really punished from Luminosity, and that did stem, you know, some of their problems. Just SK's ability to just take a lot of map control quite easily. Luminosity are playing it a lot slower, and that's how, you know, as we know them. I've always liked that peek from Taco. They slide up the white board and gets you just over the red container to have a Goosey Gander at the Haps in the A main area. Fell with a re-smoke in mid there. So again, just slowing the approach of Luminosity. Looks as though they've decided to start to make the move though. Or maybe not. They're still chilling. They've got 45 seconds left to go now. Starting to pressure more into middle. Good smoke there from Phelps. Keeping the question open. Is there a man in vents? That's an important pick by Fer. There's 30 seconds to go now. The bomb needs to make its way to a bomb site, James.
Indeed it does. PKL taking position in the squeaky area, and you see the rotation from the CT is not really working out for them. That leaves Taco alone. The AWP is out of position as far as A is concerned. It seems SK thought it would be a B play, and they've got 3 players in B, and now Fallen's rotating towards the car position, and he'll get there with perfect timing after his teammate gets taken down.
Time.
But the bomb's got across, and now there is no time for the bomb to get planted. Showtime running away from the site. What has happened, Luminosity? This is what we're talking about. These slow rounds that they play where things can go wrong towards the end and then they run out of time to have a successful round. And there is an example of it. They have given SK a window. Both teams are going to be on the buy for this round as well. And Fallen will be afforded armor with his AWP for this round. Phelps with the most forward spawn, so let's see what the approach to B is. Pretty normal setup. They've got potential for pop flash plays with Cold flashing for his teammate over towards B. And A, they have retake, so maybe they're expecting Tech 9s or a fast play from Luminosity on the A site, but indeed it will be the full buy. This AWP could be a complete surprise for them.
It's toying, playing. Oh, Yale's going to have some of that. And Fer will go down, I think just for the smoke popped, if I'm not mistaken. And that's going to be a really important pick-off going in. And Taco gets caught unawares. Now Fallen has a lot of work to do. Ooh, caught as well. I'm not sure if that was through the smoke. I think that's actually from Highway. Indeed, it was. Showtime at the top of middle there by Connector, causing issues. Also can count where people are going or count the crossing players. And just keep tabs on these CT rotations. And they are going to get out of dodge here. So Luminosity are having a good time at this T side of theirs. Of course, they did manage to win the pistol round, and since doing so, you know, we can see that, okay, sure, they conceded a couple rounds there, but back to winning ways, and it's really important considering that it resets SK before they've built up any money. So this save of 2 guns is really crucial for Phelps, or rather, sorry, for SK as a whole, the save by Phelps and Cold. I must see what their, you know, how their recovery looks like in this next round. I'm sure we'll be seeing a lot of UMPs in use. Ooh.
Damn, son.
Oh, that was glorious. Just before the smoke popped as well. That's great timing there from Luminosity. Yell's really going off in this game. He's trying it, man. He's trying the body wall bang.
So one of those yesterday from Stewie. But none today just yet. SK's buy being dragged down to UMP level. Fallen's close, so damage drop-off will be minimal from that distance, if not non-existent. I think from just beyond where the B sign is where the damage drop-off would start to kick in, at least for, I think, 500 units or whatever it is. I can't remember now. I think it's 500 units. 2-0-2 setup as Fallen has been lost. 4-on-4 for Luminosity, and they're bunching together for the most part towards the A site, including Yell with the AWP, so perhaps the scope will be heard. And there's a rotation away from B by Showtime. Fer picked off. One more to find in Taco. He sees some elbows. I don't know if Yell's seen him as well. A crouch peek, though, will find a lovely shot to take him out, leaving Phelps and Cold Zero to do what they can. Cold still in the B bomb site, and Phelps just holding position in Z connector for the time being. So it seems indeed this round is over as far as SK are concerned, and Luminosity will lead to 10 to double figures.
Yell's
unless we see
beasting.
another ninja defuse.
Sorry to interrupt you there, but Yell is beasting. He's absolutely beasting at the moment. I don't think I've seen him play be this crisp in recent times when they've been going through some struggles. I mean, that's another two quick kills. Like, he opens up the crouch peak easily. He takes down Fallen in the middle with another fast snapshot. And a lot of these rounds, these important rounds that are going the way of Luminosity, has been because of Yell's performance. I would say the most impactful kills and rounds. Oh, did they get everybody? Oh, almost everybody, but Cold.
Ooh.
Brilliant play to hunt down and to have the cognizance to just go and commit fully for the hunt there to kill at least 2 of the remaining 3 players.
For me, the approach from SK is pretty interesting because usually they're a very aggressive team, and in this half they are playing very passive on the CT side. I'm not sure if that's because they want to try it out, just kind of force that play style, basically see if they can defend against Luminosity without going for aggression.
Maybe they also feel as though a weakness of Luminosity is finding openings as well. So in perhaps playing aggressively, they give Luminosity an opportunity to open a round up without, them themselves being, doing it against a defensive setup where it's more difficult to open up a round.
Yeah, but you feel like Luminosity is a team that likes it when their opponents play passive, so they have room to work with. They can exert map control and then go into one of their set executes. They're not a super aggressive team. They generally do not end rounds very early, and even if they do so, it's usually through a full-on execute as well. So against that type of a style, aggression would actually be very welcomed. But so far, SK is deciding against it. The game is becoming close, so
yeah,
maybe they make the switch up in the next gun round.
Taco lurking in the middle of mid will not have any success in this round. Pistols for the most part on Luminosity. Their money is less than spectacular, less than stellar. Some damage being done. Cold in a 1 versus 3. He has everything, full armor, but he's not going to go for hero play. He's got himself an AK and he'll hold on to it for pastures new. Can we see the scoreboard, please? So we'll see 2,400 for SK in this. The money's still not going to be fantastic. They'll have a 1-round lead, so let's see where it takes them. Luminosity, do they have it in them to take this match away from SK? It's all good catching up, but taking it over the line is a different kettle of fish altogether. Yanko, have you ever had fish in your kettle?
No.
I can't say I have either.
I can't say I have.
But when I was in Cairo, we went to a tea shop and they poured the tea, coffee place, and they poured the coffee straight into the kettle. Not like loads of coffee. They gave us little taster cups.
Yeah. We call it Turkish coffee, but I don't know where it originates from.
Yeah,
it's pretty strong. It's super strong.
Well then, we have the AWP onto Cold, looking over towards the B-bomb site for now. He'll take a forward position, but indeed those grenades will force him away. When this happens to CLG, Ricky likes to throw a smoke down there and jump on the platform towards the vent and look over the smoke. Cold, though, he'll just hold his position until the Molotov goes away. 1 kill for him, but now Fox is in B on his own. He's got some flashes coming in from the high ground, but they will get both players. And it's showtime. He'll get traded by Fallen. The bomb spotted on Bino. That's a full rotation coming in, but it's going to take a while for it to get there. So Fallen's got to be careful. He can't overextend. He needs the numbers in order to make this retake successful. Fer running distraction, popping the vent, but he's rotating towards CT while Taco comes in from T-spawn.
Taco is making his way there very quickly, and the rest of SK will wait patiently upon his arrival into a position to initiate the action. Yell is watching carefully, and he's been so fast, so if he is able to see Taco coming, if the timing works out, then he'll be able to snap him down most likely. But it's going to be Taco's patience rewarding him as the movement comes from Yell. The sound cue's giving it away, and now it's just the 2 players on the bomb site. Has enough time being bought. That's a great frag onto Fer as the remaining SK players start to march in. Just Fallen left now. The leader has been eliminated. And Destiny will be taking that frag. Another good round from LG there, finishing on the B bomb site. By the way, I realized that a kettle of fish doesn't refer to water boiling kettles.
Thank you, Dan.
Just wanted to...
Very unfortunate from Yell after they lost that 2v2 when he was like watching for flank for too long. Now he went in to support his team sooner and gets backstabbed by Taco. But his teammates are still able to close out the round, and now LG in a position to take the lead against SK Gaming.
Fallen has picked up a scout. You can see forward plays from SK in the middle area. Taking pot shots all over the place. Showtime is going to take one in the face, and Fair will be traded in kind. I'm not sure if there is a gun to be collected by the CTs, but they're all headed towards the A site where the push is slowly coming in from Luminosity, and it's not a very successful one at the moment. Taco taking down on the side, but Cold's playing through the corner of the smoke, and that's going to delay things yet more. He's got 3 bullets left, and now he's got none. So Fallen on the rotation through T-spawn in a 1 versus 2. He's got no Kevlar, no grenades, no defuse kit. And he's going to gamble on Squeaky being open, and it is.
And it's always an interesting thing. We saw it play into the dynamic previously. Some teams have the cognizance to just shut the door when they're playing the clutch situation after plant like this. And it's always good because, okay, fantastic. They've shut the door now. So Fallen can't make his way out without making a sound cue. And that is more than enough for Yell to get the snapshot in. And now you can see that there is... things are becoming difficult here for SK. Very difficult. Luminosity are doing a great job now. A great recovery compared with the first half where SK looked to dominate them and SK were playing a game style in which LG could not adapt to seemingly. It was the marksmanship of men like Yell and Showtime that really carried them forwards to those 5 rounds, and now they take the lead 13-12.
Second AWP in this round has been picked up by Monsieur Taco, which will allow Cold0 to do his role in his position as per usual. Double short play from SK, or highway as it's more commonly referred to in North America. So it's a 1-2-2 setup, but of course there can be a fast rotation between mid and A from the CT side. That's a nice grenade, warning sign to Yell, but also some information for the Luminosity AWPer. He knows where to look, and SK are not going to give up anything in that direction. Luminosity playing it slow, as we can commonly see from them. Being very, very patient with a minute on the clock, but when will they start to move forward?
Probably not for a while. We have become accustomed to the pace of Luminosity. Yell looking for a pick again, and there's every reason to wait for him. He's been doing a good job, but Showtime has been lost in the meantime by Phelps. Mr. Phelps. Ooh. Fallen's had enough. That's a fantastic second shot there from Fallen. There's more to be had, though, as he'll easily dispatch of Destiny as well. Now it's just PKL left alone, wondering what happened to my teammates, what happened to this round. That's a great entry frag, but there's more to be done as there's 2 players looming, and Cold0 with the peek there onto PKL will win that one out. And a much-needed round for SK as Fallen decides to show the boys how it's done.
I love the reposition as well. He saw the trajectory from the Molotov. He knows there is somebody else to find. The crouch peak, not enough for Destiny. Fallen with an unexpected angle, abusing his advantages there in terms of position and otherwise. Well, Luminosity, they've had some success, and they only led for a brief time. And again, the question arises, do they have it in them to take this over the line versus SK on LAN? LAN matches here in the ECS League stage. Some today, more tomorrow, and hopefully much more in the future. Player picked off for both teams. And then we've seen Cold playing around the smoke in case of any flashes. He's got lots of walls to help him avoid most of them, and then punish the T's for pushing through that smoke. Of course, the T's could also go through checkers, as the smoke allows them to walk towards it. There are Molotovs to flush out this position if they want to. But Yell's going to creep all the way. As he emerges towards B, he needs to look up to the rafters, then down towards CT, then towards headshot, and so on and so forth. But still, Cold being very, very patient. I'm sure he would have heard a scope at some point. He also got to watch out because he's starting to back that ass up in the wrong direction. And indeed, Cold's there immediately taken down. But there's no bomb spotted for SK.
But once again, Luminosity, they've run the clock down very far. They've got 30 seconds and they're still walking towards the A bomb site. Should Taco hit his first shot, surely there's no way that Luminosity can error correct with the little time they have remaining. And there's the peak. Oh, the timing there from Taco. The door opens. That could be what Luminosity need to actually get a bomb plant out of this situation. Oh my god, this great shot from Taco there. Able to sweep PKL away. And Fur comes in as well to save the day. And that's going to be a cleanup.
Fur comes in as well.
Great performance on the AWP from Taco.
That's SK back in control of the match. Look what it's done to the T economy. You will soon find out. But first, some highlights from Monsieur Taco. His second shot was quite nice as well. Didn't see much of the play, but saw enough. And we see 3 UMPs and 2 Tech 9s. Luminosity have come this far. And you wonder if this is the end of the road with buys like this, how they will face 3 AWPs on the CT side. And there are 4 people around mid and B for the CTs. And they've left Virtus to fend for himself. And they are not going to check this area properly. 2 free kills for Fur.
Triple AWP is something that SK have been going to quite a lot recently, and it's going to actually afford LG a plant. It's hard to retake the AWP with the AWPs. You can't get as close as quickly as with rifles, which are more dynamic in nature. So it's going to be about SK using their utility as best they can. They have a lot of it. The Molotovs really help out. Ooh, that Molotov. That's gone a bit wrong, unfortunately. You can't really clear the quad position. And I wonder if they'll feel as though it's being cleared by that Molotov. We'll have to see now as they get closer and closer. SHZ finding himself a great engagement against Cold. Now as the smoke is pushed out of bullets, though, PKL isn't by quad. Nice switch out to the Tech 9, finding the head of Fallen for the round. And back and forth we go. Another round to Luminosity. That's 14-14. We're all tied up. So perhaps it's not the end of the road after all. What do you think about the triple AWP Yanko in that situation?
Interesting. Also, even more so because of the fact that one of the AWPs wasn't anchoring the A bomb site. It was actually Fur with a rifle. I'm not sure where the third AWPer was. Was he rotating back to A from mid because the smoke for highway was missed, perhaps, from LG? Because if a player was in the truck position, he would have had clear point of view towards A main and definitely could have done a lot of damage. So we'll see now for SK, forced buy of their own. You can see it's far from optimal.
Oh, look at Yell spawn. Is he going to mid? Yell, 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 yell. Yeah. Does he play for the cross? What a great angle.
That's a great bunny.
Yeah, so for those of you who don't understand the spawns on Cash, he had basically the best spawn you can get on the T side, which means if the CTs try to run through mid to highway, he can punish them for doing so. Just shoot them before they can make it anywhere close to that white box, that safety box. But nobody crosses on this occasion. In the meantime, Yell gets picked off towards A main. So that's an unfortunate turn of events for Luminosity, especially as the shoe is on the other foot with SK feeling the constraints of their troubled economy.
It had to get to 14-14 to force SK to go for some aggression on the CT side. For going for that push through the smoke on top of the box, getting the kill on Yell.
So he waits, and Cold tags as a peek comes in from Showtime with that AWP that's been collected here by Luminosity. It's going to be interesting times there because now PKL's looking at opening things up. He's got mid control for his team. A B split's very likely from this position. SK have 5 players alive though. Will they be able to position them all towards B in time? Phelps in a great position with that CZ, and with the backup of Cold, who will likely draw all the attention, this could very well work out. There's one frag. They need to try to refrag him now. Phelps takes the initiative, goes out, finds himself 2 fast frags, picks up an AWP, and gets the final kill onto SHZ. That really takes the mick right there. Very well played by SK.
That's a painful reset for Luminosity, and what a stage to do it at. They're going to have next to nothing to offer in this last round of normal time at the very least. So the question is, what do they have, and how do they make it work for them? They've got 2 smokes to try and avoid these snipers. Moving quickly into the middle area. It's not really going to work out for the T side, so that's not a great start for them. Fur creeping around the smoke, not even wanting to play to their advantages. Indeed, that aggression to shut down the round is coming out from the CT side. Fur with a 2K, make it 3 in main. That's pretty much GG right there.
Indeed it is. It's going to be 16-14 unless PKL finds the way to get his Neo on, enter bullet time. But it's a slow death at this point. Some tagging. They are aware of his position. And in comes Fur for the finish. 16-14, SK will eventually, after a troubled Cash, finish off Luminosity.
Indeed they will, and I believe that actually with this win, SK secures their own spot at the Wembley SSC Arena then, at the LAN playoffs. So that's going to be super exciting and a very strange game, to be honest, especially from SK, because you would expect them to be more aggressive on the CT side, and both teams were actually passive on the CT side. Something that, in my opinion, isn't very beneficial for you on Cash. LG also had the benefit of winning both pistol rounds and still couldn't quite close out the game, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think, though, it was great to see the performances of Showtime and Yell. That really was quite refreshing. They looked very energized and had a lot of high-impact fragging, so there's that going for Luminosity. And I mean, it did feel like there's definitely a world where they take this. And against SK,